I don't need no man. All right. Well, bye.
I didn't. When I first met Sean, the one thing I can say is he immediately felt familiar. Like I knew him already. And I was comfortable with him immediately.
What's stopping y'all from getting married? Like, y'all already did one of those secret industry weddings?
No. There has not been a secret industry marriage.
So word on the street is that Brasher Gray and August Alsina just got exposed. But here's the twist. It didn't come from some random gossip blog. It came from a woman named Allie Carter. And according to her, she's holding tea that the whole world was never supposed to sip. Now, according to Allie, while Will and Jada Smith were out here mentoring these young men, and you can read between the lines on what that might mean, Brasher and August allegedly started their own secret connection behind the scenes. And get this, Allie says that moment was when August realized he might actually be interested in men. That's already wild, but it doesn't stop there. Word is, Brasher, who many remember as Hakeem Lyon from Empire, had already been experimenting after his rumored interactions with Will. Now he's allegedly on OnlyFans, filming content with men and trans women. You can imagine how fast the internet ran with that. The story spread like wildfire. Social media, podcasts, blogs, everybody's talking. But before diving deeper, let's rewind a bit.
Haben Big Sean und Jhene ihre Beziehung nach 10 Jahren beendet. Kein mehr.
With me a lot, she would just hear me, humming along, and then I'm like, okay, like that would be kind of cool if she was on it too. And then I decided to.
Brasher Gray, better known as Yaz the Greatest, came into the game hot. He was only 17 when he landed that breakout role on Empire. Hollywood saw him as the next big star, talented, young, charming, and camera-ready. He had that spark everybody loved. But as fast as he rose, things started slipping. Fame came with attention and new connections. Brasher soon crossed paths with major players in the industry like Charlie Mack, Will Smith, and Diddy, all through what was called a mentorship program. But if you've been online long enough, you've probably heard what some insiders like Jaguar Wright have said about those mentorships. Let's just say, people claim those meetings included a lot more than acting lessons, and that's where things start to twist. Because not long after joining that circle, Brasher's whole world began to crumble. The young star who once had fans screaming his name was suddenly battling demons behind the scenes. Legal trouble, public meltdowns, and rumors that something dark had happened along the way. Some folks say that so-called mentorship introduced him to a side of Hollywood that eats people alive. Others think he just got lost chasing fame. But now, with Allie Carter's story going viral, all those old whispers are coming back louder than ever. Because if what she's claiming is even half true, this might not just be about a couple of celebrities hooking up. This could expose a whole pattern of how young stars get pulled into something much bigger than they realize. Before the chaos, Brasher Yaz Gray was the guy. Fresh face, wild talent, and Hollywood's next golden kid. But after the fame hit, things got messy, fast. The bright lights that made him a star started burning him from the inside out. Once Empire exploded, Yaz had everything: fame, fans, and a seat at the Hollywood table. But with fame came access. He started hanging around major players, Charlie Mack, Will Smith, Diddy, through what they called a mentorship program.
Dieses Gerücht hält sich hartnäckig. Keiner der beiden hat sich dazu geäußert. Es gibt also keine
Now there's even more people. You guys.
Yeah, I have fun.
I'm sure there's a more entertaining live.
Hey, be safe. I love you.
See safe, cuz.
But people close to the scene claim that mentorships in Hollywood often come with hidden costs. And that's when Brasher's life started spiraling. Behind the red carpets and magazine covers, something darker was brewing. He began showing signs of distress, erratic behavior, substance use, legal run-ins, all happening while insiders whispered that he'd seen and experienced things he couldn't unsee. By 2020, everything came crashing down. His wife reportedly ran to a gas station begging for help, saying he attacked her. A whole SWAT team had to show up just to calm him down. Imagine that, and the same kid who once played a prince of hip-hop on TV now surrounded by police lights in real life. A year later, it didn't get better. In 2022, Brasher was locked up again, this time for aggravated assault. Fans started asking, what happened to the boy who had it all? Was it fame, bad choices, or something deeper? That's when singer Jaguar Wright jumped into the picture, adding a whole new layer to the story. She claimed that Breischer's own mother, Andrea Mayberry, signed off on that mentorship deal, allegedly knowing exactly what kind of access Charlie Mack and Will Smith were giving her son Jaguar. Claimed she warned Andrea to back out, to protect Breischer, but that never happened. And according to Jaguar, once that door opened, it was too late to close it. Jaguar's story painted a disturbing picture, that Breischer got caught up in Hollywood's dark game, the kind of system that looks shiny on the outside but eats people alive from the inside. She said Breischer's breakdown wasn't random. It was the result of years of manipulation, pressure, and trauma from people who had way too much control over his life. Looking at how things played out, the breakdowns, the arrests, the public fall, a lot of fans started to wonder if Jaguar was telling the truth all along, because everything about Breischer's downfall felt unnatural, like something pushed him over the edge. Now, years later, the whispers have come back, louder than ever, especially now that new voices, like Ali Carter, are claiming Breischer's story connects directly to the Smith family and August Alsina. While Breischer Gray's world was falling apart over in the Smith household, things weren't much better. That's when Hollywood got hit with one of the most shocking stories of the decade, Jada Pinkett Smith's entanglement with August Alsina. Let's take it back to 2020, when August went public and confessed that he had been in love with Jada for years, saying Will Smith himself gave him permission. The internet froze. Nobody saw that coming. August sat down for an interview and spilled everything, how the relationship started when he was young, how Jada helped him heal, and how it left him emotionally wrecked. He said, "I gave years of my life to this woman, and I truly loved her," explaining that what they had changed him forever. It made him question who he was, what love meant, and how deep he'd fallen into a situation that seemed untouchable. And here's where it gets even crazier. According to new claims, Breischer was the one who encouraged August to tell his truth publicly. That right there made people start connecting dots they hadn't seen before. Because if Breischer and August were already close behind the scenes, could there have been more to their friendship than fans realized? Now, Jada tried to play it cool at first, brushing off the talk and acting like nothing major happened. But then she brought herself to the red table talk with Will and dropped that now famous line, "It was an entanglement." She said it so casually that people almost forgot she was admitting to cheating in front of her husband, on camera. The internet exploded. Memes, debates, reactions. Everyone was tuned in. But what hit hardest wasn't the word entanglement. It was how broken Will looked sitting across from her. He didn't yell or cry. He just looked defeated, like someone carrying years of secrets that could never be spoken out loud. Jada told the world she was trying to feel good again, saying she had been emotionally lost. Fans were like, "Girl, you risked your whole marriage for that?" But the real moment came when she said, "Will didn't give me permission. I gave myself permission." That line revealed everything. This was a family that played by their own rules. They lived differently, loved differently, and handled pain in ways nobody outside that circle could ever understand. But that openness, it didn't end the drama. It just opened new doors. Because now, people started asking what really went down between August, Will, Jada, and Breischer. Because the timelines, they're way too close. The mentorships, the breakdowns, the emotional awakenings, everything seems to connect in ways that feel more than just coincidence. Just when people thought the drama was over, Ali Carter came out of nowhere with a revelation that sent shockwaves across the internet. She claimed she had information that tied Breischer Gray and August Alsina together in a way that no one saw coming. And according to her, this wasn't about mentorship, friendship, or brotherhood. It was a secret relationship happening behind the scenes. Ali said that while Will and Jada Smith were mentoring these young men, August and Breischer got close, real close. She claimed that what started as a supportive friendship turned into something romantic, and according to her, this was the moment when August realized he might actually be into men. Now, whether you believe Ali or not, one thing's for sure. She came in bold, confident, and completely unbothered. She said this wasn't gossip. It was truth that Hollywood tried to bury. And once she said it, the internet went wild trying to piece everything together. People started asking the real questions. If August and Breischer were both mentored by the same powerful figures, and both later came out with emotional or identity awakenings, could there really be something deeper linking their stories? The timing was suspicious too. Think about it. August went public about Jada in 2020, saying that relationship changed him emotionally. Around that same time, Breischer's life spiraled. Breakdowns, arrests, and rumors about his mental health. And now, Both men have re-emerged, August embracing his attraction to men, and Brisher allegedly on OnlyFans working with men and trans creators. To some fans, it felt like a pattern too perfect to ignore. But Allie didn't stop at just the claims. She hinted that she had receipts, screenshots, and messages that backed up what she said. She didn't show everything publicly, but she said enough for the internet to run wild connecting dots. And here's the twist. People noticed how fast both August and Brisher went quiet after Allie's claims hit. Neither one clapped back, denied it, or said a word. That silence made people think there might be something real to what Allie was saying. Still, there are those who aren't buying it, saying Allie's just chasing clout and mixing real events with wild speculation. But even the skeptics admit her timing was perfect. She dropped her claims right when the public was already side-eyeing Hollywood for its secret networks, blurred boundaries, and hidden agendas.
I just came into my session at No ID Studio. I had never felt that feeling of like, I've met you.
You said that one of your first ones that changed your life was working with Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see this all manifesting, from those days to where you at now?
And he always calls me crazy, but I'm not crazy. I'm from LA where the sun's always shining, so a lot of people are shady. But at least I got my baby. Right?
Now people are starting to wonder if Allie's story might have cracked open a bigger truth about what really happens behind those mentorship doors. Because these same names, Will, Jada, Diddy, and Charlie Mack, keep popping up every time young stars fall apart. Coincidence or connection? The more this story unfolds, the harder it is to separate rumor from reality. But one thing's clear. Whatever Allie Carter revealed has made the streets buzz louder than ever. When Allie Carter's claims hit social media, the internet nearly broke. Every blog, YouTube channel, and gossip page was on fire. People couldn't believe it. August Alsina and Brisher Gray, a secret relationship connected to the Smiths. That was the kind of tea the internet lives for. Within hours, hashtag Brisher Gray and hashtag August Alsina were trending. Theories started flying from every direction. Some fans said Allie was exposing what insiders already knew, that certain mentorships in Hollywood are way more personal than professional. Others said she was chasing clout, mixing truth with lies just to get attention. Either way, her name was everywhere. But here's where things got really wild. The timing of her claims had people connecting dots fast. Both August and Brisher had their emotional breakdowns and identity changes around the same time. Both had ties to Will and Jada. Both got mentored by the same circle. And both walked away completely different men. That overlap was too loud for people to ignore. Even folks who don't normally buy into gossip started asking questions, like why do the same names, Will Smith, Jada, Diddy, Charlie Mack, keep popping up around young, talented men whose careers crash right after they make it? Something about that pattern felt off. And the streets didn't stay quiet about it either. Some called it out for what they thought it was. Industry grooming disguised as opportunity. They said young men come into Hollywood chasing dreams, but end up paying a heavy price behind closed doors. Others pushed back, saying everyone's grown and responsible for their own choices. The internet turned into a battlefield, one side screaming exploitation, the other saying it's just personal business. Meanwhile, both Brisher and August stayed silent. No denial, no statement, no interviews, nothing. And that silence only fueled the fire. Because in Hollywood, when something isn't true, people are usually quick to shut it down. But this time, nobody said a word. Fans started wondering, was Allie telling the truth, or was this just another messy rumor catching wind because people want to believe there's a dark side to every success story? Whatever it was, her words reopened every conversation people thought was over. Suddenly, old clips resurfaced. Interviews, paparazzi moments, red carpet shots, with people pointing out clues they'd missed before. The internet became one big investigation board. Even podcasts that usually avoid drama started weighing in, calling the situation bigger than gossip, a reflection of how Hollywood really works. At the center of it all stood two men, one trying to heal, the other trying to rebuild, both now caught in a web of rumors, secrets, and silence. At this point, the internet had already turned Brisher Gray and August Alsina's story into a full-blown investigation. But beneath all the gossip and trending hashtags, there was something deeper. A story about how power, fame, and pain collide in Hollywood. Because when you really step back and look at it, the same names keep circling these scandals like clockwork. Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Diddy, Charlie Mack, all connected to mentorships that somehow end with young stars breaking down, burning out, or vanishing from the spotlight. It's not just about rumors anymore, it's about a pattern. Fans are divided. Some say these stories are proof of a system that preys on young men looking for opportunity, grooming them under the mask of guidance. They say it's time people start holding the mentors accountable for the emotional and mental fallout that seems to follow. Others push back hard, saying maybe August and Brescia just grew, changed, and discovered themselves naturally. That not every transformation has a dark backstory. But when you look at how their lives flipped upside down right after getting close to that same Hollywood circle, it's hard not to at least wonder if something more was going on. Because August didn't just talk about Jada, he talked about being emotionally drained, like the experience had cracked him open from the inside. Brescia didn't just lose fame, he lost control, ending up in police reports and public breakdowns. And both stories end with the same tone: pain, confusion, and silence. That silence is the loudest part. No one's admitting anything, no one's denying anything, it's all just quiet. But silence doesn't mean peace. Sometimes it means protection. In Hollywood, it's built on secrets. The truth is, nobody outside those rooms really knows what happened between Brescia, August, Will, and Jada. But what's clear is how easily young talent gets lost in that world behind the red carpets and million-dollar smiles. There's a darker side where success often comes with invisible scars. At the end of the day, whether this was real or rumor, it exposed something undeniable: the cost of fame in an industry that feeds off image and silence. So now the question's yours. Do you think Ali Carter told the truth about Brescia and August? Do you believe these mentorships are just professional help or something much more dangerous? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, because this conversation isn't ending anytime soon. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video so you don't miss what comes next, because the next chapter in this saga might just uncover even more secrets hiding in plain sight. This is Street Fame Files, where we don't just talk gossip, we break down the truth they don't want you to see.